Good afternoon, friends. It's Jayashrii with the Finding Freedom podcast. I hope this finds you doing very well today. This week, our question is, without wants, dreams, and desires, ego, how can we stay motivated? Is it okay to have these as long as you do not become attached and realize you will be okay no matter what happens? An incredible question, and it's something I've touched on a little bit previously, but it's such a deep topic that I don't think we can really cover it all if we tried. So thank you so much for this beautiful topic. So this is really a matter of recalibrating back to presence. So when we focus on presence as our number one priority, everything else falls into place. When we focus on our goals and the wants and the desires and the dreams, we are focusing on lack. We're basically saying that we need these things and that we don't have them now, and that we may, in fact, be better off once we get what we want, once we achieve our dreams, and once our desires come true. That's the trap, and that's why it's called ego. And the thing about ego is that it has an insatiable appetite. So if we chase our tail around following ego's dictates, we will perhaps get everything we want and achieve our dreams and get our desires fulfilled. And guess what? We won't feel any better. And this is actually incredibly good news, because it means that when we see through this trap, that we're actually whole and complete exactly as we are right now, and we always have been, and we always will be. And what this means is that we don't continue, it's not that we don't achieve things and that we don't have things happening in our lives, but we realize that all of that stuff are the candles on the cake, and that we are the cake. Those things are not the cake. Because if we fall for the trap that those things are what we need in order to be okay, when we get them and we perhaps get an ego boost for a day or a week or so, and then it falls away because it was superficial, and we're right back to where we started. We see through that false promise that anything outside of ourselves holds the key to our well-being. And that can be very disappointing when we put all of our focus on these externals and then they come to fruition and nothing has changed. That is why people can have it all and still be suffering. Because the true gift is presence. And presence is who we are. So it's not, again, I'm going to reinforce the fact that it's not that we aren't enjoying this play of Maya, the illusion of Maya, the dream. It's not that we aren't. Great sportsman in this beautiful game, in this beautiful illusion. It's called Maya. That's the dream of the world of form. It's a Sanskrit word. When we see everything for what it really is, and we place our priority on self-realization, which is what I've just described, when we realize that we are the unknowable mystery, and in that knowing, we experience the joy, the peace, and the love of our true nature, and that needs nothing. It actually has no desires, and it has no wants, because it's full and complete. It's beyond anything I can describe here. It's beyond words. It's non-duality. Now, again, so the second part of this question is it okay to have these as long as you don't become attached to them? So when we know who we are, when we know that we are presence, and we are continually coming back to the presence that we are, resting in that embodiment of the unknowable mystery, we know who we are, and we don't have those desires and those needs and those wants, and that is how we realize the detachment to them. So we're no longer attached to the externals of our life being a certain way. Now this is freedom. This is called unconditional love. No conditions. When we can actually be at peace, in love, in joy, regardless, that's freedom. But when we need things to be a certain way in order to be okay, that's not freedom. That's in prison. That's being in prison. And the other part of that, the kicker, is that they actually don't even make us okay. So again, it's a matter of recalibrating, reframing, to know that we can enjoy all that this play of Maya has to offer, but we know that it's not the ultimate. So another way to say this, I heard this once before, which I thought was very nicely put. We don't look for enlightenment in our dinner. It's not to say that we don't enjoy our dinner and we're not fully present for it, and we don't see the beautiful colors, the presentation, the textures, the flavors, the experience of perhaps being with other people while we eat, or, the whole experience is delightful. And yet, it's not who we are. And again, we won't find enlightenment in our dinner. So that's the difference. It's just a very subtle differentiation. And the third part of this question was, how do we realize that we will be okay no matter what happens? Well, that's where, when we know who we are, when we rest in the vertical dimension, the depth of the true self, which is never suffering, which is centered, peaceful, gentle, it is always okay no matter what happens. When we realize that we are wonderfully nothing and simultaneously everything, when we empty our teacup, so to speak, so that life can flow through us, because we are life. Now, someone asked me recently, which is perhaps important to clarify during this particular topic, is what exactly does it mean that we are not a separate self? what that means is when we ask, who am I? What is seeing through these eyes? The only thing that we come to is an unknowable mystery. It's the answer that has never been found by anyone, by science, by religion, by spirituality. And when we can really accept and surrender to the unknowable mystery, that is, it's given so many names, the divine, God. It's something that is beyond words. But what we can know in our experience when we let go of that which we aren't, we let go of our roles and our titles and our labels, our conditioning, the assumptions, the beliefs, unexamined beliefs, when we let go of all that, what's left? Something vast and infinite, that which is never born and never dies. And when we really let ourselves go there, it's love. And it's so powerful. And what it does, it's our engine. And it will fire up everything we do with magic. And so that's where the motivation comes from. It's the authenticity of that magic that will really, really propel us in everything. And so we'll actually be the very pinnacle of our potential when we let all of those other things go and we let life lead. When we let that unknowable mystery, that power, pulse through our veins. When we surrender completely to that magic, so much will happen that is beyond what we could even dream of or want or desire. And it's actually all right here in the present moment. It's always here. And it's just a matter of letting go that which covers it up. So I hope this is helpful. Please share your thoughts, your questions, and your comments in the comments below. And feel free to like this and share it with a friend. If you have a question or a topic that you would like me to address in a future podcast, please share that as well. And as always, I send you much love, light, and presence. Namaskar.